Hello, welcome again. I'm bending down so you can see me in the camera for a second, but that's about all you need to see of me. I'll just start talking about what I'm going to be doing today. I'm an amateur beekeeper as well as a Renaissance man. Today I'm going to be building a screen bottom board for a Langstroth hive. Now, I've got a regular bottom board right here. This is a regular bottom board that came from a commercial beekeeper. It came in 5 separate parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this part right here. I don't want to use it. I've decided not to use it. There's been a lot of research done and for mite control in beehives, and that's a big issue for beekeepers. They found that screen bottom boards provide more ventilation and tend to cut down on the mites. Now, I'm going to adopt this little innovation that came with this. Now, this is the entrance to the beehive. This would normally be right down there. Okay, and this is the entrance to the hive, normally in the summer. But it's got this other little entrance right here, which if you just turn it over, that's going to be the entrance for the winter. So I'm going to adopt that innovation on my new hive. So this we're just going to set away. We may use it for some measurements if we need to, but for the most part we've got the measurements, and that'll be my project maybe tomorrow or the next day, a solar beeswax melter. But these plans came from a website called www.beesource.com. Gives pretty detailed instructions and plans on what to do, and 2 different ways of making the screen bottom. I had a hard time finding this screen. This screen is 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch screen, and you won't find this at Home Depot. At Home Depot we'll have this screen, which is 1/4 inch screen, but bees will fall right through that. I don't know if you can see that or not, if I'm in focus or not, but this is, bees will fall through that. And the other screen is this standard screen door screen here, and this is too small. The mites won't really fall through this, so this is not right. It took me a while to find, get over here on the microphone, it took me quite a while to find this screen, and it was only by talking to other beekeepers in town that I found a source for this. And there's a hardware chain called Marshall's that has this, and it was about I think $3.79 a lineal foot, so it's a foot this way and however long it is that way. So the other parts, I will be using some staples, some narrow crown staples, my staple gun. This is such a gem to have in a workshop. Scrounged around what I had laying around. I haven't had to buy anything except for, throw those out of the way, that's some bolts I'll need later on another project. So I'm going to make the screen board out of that. This is an old board off, I don't know, some sort of a packing freight box or something like that. And these are just other boards I had laying around. So we're going to measure and cut. The first thing I'm going to make is this part right here. I'll put the link up on the website so you can download these instructions yourself from the website. But I'm going to work on this right now. Right now I'm going to lay it out. You don't need to sit and watch me do that. I will pause the camera while we're doing that. Alright, measurements, rough measurements. So this is 15 inches wide, 15 1/4 inches wide by 22 inches long. And then I will cut out a hole out of the center to staple the screen on. And the hole will be 2 inches in from the side. So, fortunately there's a measuring on this level which I use for a straight edge. It's also got measuring marks. And of course this doesn't need to be really accurate. Just approximate. I'll cut out the holes with the saber saw. I know when I watch videos, I just fast forward through this stuff, so feel free to just jump ahead while I do this. But sometimes it's just more difficult to turn on and off the camera than just let it run. You can do your own fast forwarding through this as you like. Since this is a relatively square piece, rather than take this over the table saw and measure over 15 inches, I'm just going to cut off, put the fence out at about, it looks like 5 5/8 inches for this cut here, and I'll measure this cut here later on. So here's the table saw. Turn that around. If you got a workshop, you got to have a table saw. Table saw is used everywhere, and you can see my workshop is pretty crowded. I've got a lot packed in here. My problem is I like everything. I like to putter around with all sorts of materials and all sorts of tools, and so it's not set up for woodworking, it's not set up for metalworking, it's set up for everything, and I've got lots of different tools for lots of different purposes here. Now I'm looking for my ear protectors and my eye protectors, safety glasses and ear protection. Like I say, these are not real critical measurements. Let's lower the blade a little bit. It's about 5 3/4. All right. Turn this back around next step's going to be cutting out this centerpiece right here. So I'll drill a hole here and probably a hole here, and then just cut around it with the saber saw. Looking for my saber saw right now. There it is. And it's got a good blade in there that'll be fine with this. So sometimes you'll see how long it really takes. It's mostly set up and all the other miscellaneous things you have to do. I'll just cut a, let me see how we're doing here. I can't really see. Alright, we're okay. Nice thing about this camera, and I'm doing these videos a lot just to learn my camera. I got a new Canon 60D digital single lens reflex camera. Get this out of the way for the time being. And I'm trying to learn how to get good audio and good video out of it. I've never had a garage that's been used for automobiles. Garage space is much too valuable for automobiles. Garage space is used to putter around in. Now, I have a theory that Americans are a very innovative culture, because we have garages and we putter around in our garages. When I get over to Europe, I don't see anybody with garages. And if they do, they're putting vehicles in them. I've got 2 garages, and one's just full of stuff that I built my boat in, but these are where away scraps. You'll use them somewhere else. Alright, I'm done with the saber saw now. I'll put that away. I learned a long time ago, after paying for the education, never buy cheap tools, because you just throw away cheap tools. Buy the best tools you can find and they'll last you a lifetime. Alright, now I need to cut the screen to put on here. I'm going to pause it while I do that. Alright, there's the screen bottom board. Now I have to make the frame for it to go into. From one side to the other side. I'm done with the drill now, so I may as well put it away. Messing with things when you're a one-off builder like I am. I've done some production building in the past where I made a bunch of very nice teak lanterns, floor standing lanterns, reading lamps, and I jigged up so I could make about 5 of them. It took me quite a while to jig up, but it was a rewarding process. As is usually the case, I'm always moving stuff around. There's the old blade. We'll put that back on the table saw. I'll clean up the dado when we're done with this project. There's the box for the dados. There's the other dado blade. Keep that nice and clean. It's all over here. That's a disadvantage of having a small shop. I'm going to take off my ear protection right now. We're done. This and this. Put that over there. Okay. Glue time. See some of my, I ran out of staples. I need to staple down the screen. Huh. I think I was holding the staple gun too tight. It was cutting through the wire. There we go. wonder if I should put a wire underneath it, and then I think I will. So the way you solve problems is you see problems. The staple gun's putting too much pressure out, and it's cutting through my my screen. So to solve that problem, I'm going to put a piece of wire down and staple around the wire. And the wire will hold the screen on. Ah, that's good. Put those ear protection on again. It's like hearing a gunshot go off. Okay. Now you can fast forward through this, or I may cut it out, we'll see. But this is how you solve problems. Missed it. I didn't have to use this wire. Any wire probably would have done it, but this just construction wire. Alright, show you what I did. I think you can figure it out. The previous staples I put in were cutting through the screen, and so I just put a backup piece to keep that from occurring. Let's see this. Let's see, I may as well finish up this. Alright, good enough. I think I'm about out, so let's just... Nope, still a little bit more. Surprised that. There we go. Now we're out. Alright, back to where we were with the glue. This glue doesn't set up that fast. We weren't in that big a hurry. The simplest thing. Let's put a little more glue in there. Get some more staples out. These in my staple gun, and when I get one spot, one side glued in, staple it. Otherwise it's just coming back out. Alright, let's make sure. Barely made it. Okay, now that won't be coming out. We'll get this one in. Okay, I'm going to run a line of staples down the center here, but my eyes aren't good enough without a line to follow. Okay, so we cut two pieces 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. One will be the entrance and one will be the back. Now I should have remembered to cut another slot underneath here for a insulating board for winter time, but I'm going to just put a couple cleats on the bottom there to serve the same purpose, and we'll use some of this white board, which is sign board, to go underneath there. Be probably a couple pieces about that wide to go in there. But that'll only be used in the winter. In the summer you want a lot of ventilation in the hives, so we'll just leave that open in the summer. Right, so I'm going to copy this. And it looks like it's the openings are about 1/4 inches. 1/4 inches by 4.5 inches, and 1/4 inches by 3/4 inches. That's the winter opening. So there it is, it's finished. I will glue and staple, sit down here so you can see me for this final part. I'll glue and staple this piece. This is the back of the bottom board, so I will glue and staple this here. Get that done. And there might be a little bit of excess space, but don't worry about it. The bees will fill that up with propolis. And I'll take the camera out and show you a couple of my beehives when I'm done here. Okay. There's the back. Enough. And the front will just sit in here. In the summer it will look like this. Just a friction fit. And let's see how it looks. My first Langstroth hive. I've got 3 top bar hives, and look at that, it doesn't fit. The back is too long, so that's okay. The front can sit like that, and now we have a landing spot for the bees. I didn't realize that. Okay. There we go. So the bees will be able to land on that, which is what they're supposed to do, and then walk in. So it's right. I didn't make a mistake. Everything's good. We'll line up the back. See about where it's supposed to go. There we go. Good. I guess in the summer it doesn't matter. The bees can go through that hole too if they want to. Curious. There's the top board. This is a queen excluder, or a one-way bee gate. So when you want to get the bees out of the hive for collecting the honey, that's what that's for. Bees can go down, but they can't come back up. That's a top board. This is a queen excluder. This would be the brood box down below. You can see I made this so when the bees are collecting honey, they can come in through this upper area here. But that's for another podcast. There we go. Good enough. I'll take you on a quick tour of my garden. Walk out my workshop here into my alley. See all my vehicles. I've got an apricot tree there that's not producing, a plum tree there. I've got some tomatoes. Those are cuttings I made of my grapes this year. They seem to do pretty good. My grapes are going crazy. I made stuffed grape leaves for the first time this week. My arbor I made a couple of years ago. The grapes seem to be doing really well. This is the second year I've had this vine, so it's doing, actually the third year. This will be the third season. And then there's my garden. And my two top bar hives that I have back here. I have one more across the street. This one I'm looking at is doing very well. I pulled out about a gallon of honey today on that, and this one is doing very poorly. I need to get it a new queen. That hive is going to die unless I get it a new queen pretty soon. So that's that. Thanks for watching.